Well, look at what we just found. That's right. About 45 minutes ago, I've been trying to make this video. This is my fifth cut. For some reason, either it runs out of storage, or the page isn't working, or the page run out of memory, or the video didn't want to play. Yeah, for some reason this is just it's been my fifth time recording. So hopefully this works. This is from July 15th, 2023, the New York Post. You read that right. Forget the threats overseas. America is at risk in its own backyard. Let me repeat that again for you. Forget the threats overseas. America is at risk in its own backyard. Goes on to read Cuban President Miguel Diaz Canel on the left and Iran's President Ebrahim Raisi walked past the honor guard during a state visit in Havana on June 15, 2023. This is in our own backyard, people. See, we were dealing with Iran overseas. Now they're in our backyard in Cuba. Let's go on to read some more. The Washington establishment security apparatus spends extraordinary effort on an endless array of overseas military operations, but has neglected America's own backyard. Left unattended, that backyard has become increasingly occupied by hostile squatters as China, Russia, and Iran descend upon Latin America and the Caribbean to, I'm putting this as breaking news. This is important. To spread their autocratic ideologies. Hopefully, y'all spread this video. Whoever watches, I hope y'all watch because this will be breaking news. People need to know what's going on. We're worried about overseas, and they're right here in our backyard right now as we speak. So, left unattended, that backyard has become increasingly occupied by hostile squatters. It says China, Russia, and Iran. Goes on to say, the Monroe Doctrine, which declared the Western Hemisphere off limits to foreign meddling, is nearly dead mere months before 200th anniversary and could have perilous consequences for the U.S. Perilous consequences. We'll go look up the definition of perilous after this. It's not a good term, people. If we have perilous consequences headed for us in the U.S., we better be ready. Everybody better be ready, including me. Now, I'm breaking this news for y'all. This will be breaking news. I hope this gets out. I hope reports go over it. I hope people talk about it. Because I got this on my phone 30 minutes ago. And I'm pushing it out now. So I'm not sure if anybody's seen this yet. So push this out for me. Please share it. Subscribe to my channel. Like the video. Whatever you can do, push this information out. This is an important video. We're worried about Iran overseas, but they're in our own backyard right now with China and Russia. If we go on to read, it says, established by the President Monroe in December 1823, the doctrine declared the United States would not tolerate further colonization or puppet monarchs within spheres of influence. Most crucially, the doctrine states that any attempt by European powers to exert control in America's backyard would be viewed as hostile act against the United States. Would be viewed as a hostile act against the United States. This is a painted picture of President James Monroe, who established namesake doctrine 2 centuries ago to keep European powers outside of America's traditional spheres of influence. It says nearly 2 centuries on China's unsurprisingly. It says nearly 2 centuries on China, unsurprisingly, has emerged as the biggest intruder in the region. It says last month, the Wall Street Journal reported that China had made a secret deal with Cuba. A secret deal, right there, with Cuba to build a base on the island 100 miles from Florida. Go back up. Sorry about that. It wouldn't be the first such faculty. This is PlayStation The D-pad is not working right now, so currently I'm using a thumbstick, so bear with me. Let's see if we can get this map to open, and if we can't, we'll just scroll down and read the rest. And looks like the map's getting ready to open. That's cool. Here's the map of North America. Notice how it shows California separated. That's insane. There's South America. They're calling it southern part of America. The northern part, the southern part. There is the New Britain, which is Canada, but they're calling it Britain. Ain't that crazy? Here's pictures of people, Virginian, Floridian, pictures of people, I guess, that were upon the Americas, living here, established. Now that's insane. California has been broken apart in this map, according to the way it drew. I don't know why it's like that, but it is. It seems like an old map too, the way it is. Look, it seems very old. All right, let's X out of this right quick, and let's go read some more, shall we? All right. It says the Monroe Doctrine. That's what this is. I'm assuming, or no, yeah, this isn't it. This. The Monroe Doctrine, along with the addendum made 6 decades later by President Theodore Roosevelt, states that the U.S. has the option to use military force to expel non-regional powers from its historic backyard. That's right. It says the U.S. has the option to use military force to expel non-regional powers from its historic backyard. That was made 6 decades later by President Theodore Roosevelt. According to the Biden administration officials, China has operated a Cuban intelligence base since at least 2019. See, the news is blowing it up now that they're in 2023 that they're there, but that's been there since 2019. That's 4 years ago, people, and we're barely on the news now. Could you imagine what could they be doing? Let me read that again. According to the Biden administration officials, China has operated Cuban intelligence base since 2019 and possibly far longer. They could have been there established longer than 2019. Could have been there longer than 4 years. According to a 2011 unclassified report by the U.S. Army War College, China has for decades, maintained at least 3 Soviet-era surveillance outposts intended to facilitate the PRC's operation against the United States in the event of a significant downturn in Washington-Beijing relations. Operated by China's People's Liberation Army, the spy centers include signal intelligence capabilities that target and collect U.S. communications, such as radio. Sorry about that. I'm about to just click the thumbstick in so I won't slide it like that. Alright. It says such as radio, cell phones. They've been spying on our cell phones and military satellite transmissions. So they've been spying on the cell phones here in the United States for a while. For a while, people. That's right. It's been going on for a while. Nicaragua. This is Nicaragua. This is what tripped me out. Read this. Let me click that. All right. Stay here. Nicaraguan. Stay here. Please, please, please. This is important news right here. This is why I want y'all to push out this news, the information, share the video, like, subscribe, whatever you need to do to get this information out. Look at this. The Nicaraguan leader Daniel Ortega, who ruled Central American nation during the Cold War, is now back in power and working with Russia and China. Daniel Ortega, who was there during the Cold War, is now back in Cuba working with Russia and China. The centers also perform cyber espionage operations March 2016, Florida Senator Marco Rubio confirmed, albeit indirectly, the existence of at least one of China's Cuban spy sites, demanding this Chinese listening station in Bujuku should be kicked out of the country. It goes on to read. Says it's easy to understand why located just 90 miles from Florida, the Bujuku SIGINT outpost enables Chinese intelligence to scoop up electronic communications across the southern eastern U.S., including military bases and U.S. ship traffic. They've been monitoring the U.S. for a while, people. This has not been since this year. This has been a while. I can only imagine what they're up to now. A mere 325 miles from the U.S. military Central Command headquarters at Tampa, there's the word Tampa again. Some reason I've been running into Tampa, the word Tampa, the name Tampa, I've been running into it. The spy center is also ideally positioned to intercept U.S. military communication signals, track ballistic missiles, and even monitor U.S. space launches. Even more alarming, China is working to establish a naval base at Tierra Fuego in the southernmost part of Argentina, which would enable Chinese Navy to control a critical commercial and naval passage that connects the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. It looks like they're going to be doing some monitoring around that area. And China's extensive commercial presence, along with Panama Canal, expert warns, could also be easily converted from civilian to military use. Did you hear that? And China's extensive commercial presence along the Panama Canal, experts warn, could be easily converted from civilian to military use. What does that sound like to you people with all the people coming into this country? For most of the Cold War, Russia was the long-term patron of Cuba. More recently, however, Russia has expanded its footprint across Latin America. If y'all haven't seen the movie Red Dawn, go watch Red Dawn. That's what's kind of happening to the United States right now, but they're not falling for parachutes in the sky. No, 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 no. They're not following Hollywood's footsteps. They're walking straight into the country from the borders. That's right. From the borders, they're walking straight into the country. That, my friends, is considered to me a Red Dawn act if they're saying they could use civilians for military use purposes. As far back as 2016, Senator Mark Rubio was calling for China to remove its spy stations from Cuba. Their biggest stock in trade is weaponry, arms, and other forms of military hardware sold inexpensively to nations including Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, and Nicaragua. Russia has also long placed contractors and advisors within local defense ministries for added doses of influence. People, I hope y'all are paying attention. I hope y'all spread this news, share this video. This is important. I did not know this is going on, but this is taking place right now. We're worried about Iran overseas? Nope. The Iran president is now in our backyard at Cuba with Russia and China and Daniel Ortega from the Cold War. Like China, Russia maintains an electronic intercept and surveillance base in Cuba, along with several ground stations for its GLONASS satellite network, a Russian version of the GPS. Whoa. Similar facilities operate in Brazil, Nicaragua, while another is set for deployment in Venezuela. That means they're all down there in the Southern Americas, folks. Russia, China, and now most likely Iran. And they're walking. These civilians that we do not know are walking straight into the border. And that article, that the little piece that y'all seen up there, it says they could be used as military. Although ostensibly installed to combat drug trafficking, the satellite networks can just easily support Russian intelligence and even military efforts. Indeed, in addition to its standard precision, navigation, and targeting capabilities, GLONASS satellites can also carry secret payloads designed to detect nuclear explosions. Whoa. This is getting serious. Russian military forces operate within Nicaragua, which is run once again by America's old foe, Daniel Ortega. The infamous Wagner mercenaries who tried to overthrow Putin in June provide security to Venezuela's notoriously anti-U.S. dictator Nicolas Maduro and help train his army. Y'all hear that? And the infamous Wagner, whatever you want to pronounce it. We pronounce it Wagner, they pronounce it Wagner. Mercenaries who try to overthrow Putin in June provide security to Venezuela's notoriously anti-U.S. dictator Nicolas Maduro and help train his army. Y'all hear that, America? Are y'all listening, America? Then there's Iran, whose president Ibrahim Raisi conducted high-level meetings in Venezuela, Cuba, and Nicaragua last month to support fellow nations impacted by U.S. sanctions. The elite Quds forces, for instance, have long provided security and military hardware to the Maduro regime, while the Iranian-backed Hezbollah terrorist group, responsible for countless American deaths, has helped prop up the dictatorships in Cuba and Venezuela. Did y'all hear that? Hezbollah terrorist group, responsible for countless American deaths, has helped prop up dictatorships in Cuba and Venezuela. This is heating up, people. I don't want to scare you, but I do want to alarm you that this is not good. Y'all need to spread this information as quickly as possible. Share my video if you would like. Hopefully people watch, but hopefully people are paying attention more importantly than anything. It says Hezbollah has also reportedly, that's John Kerry, back in 2016, Secretary of State John Kerry declared that the era of Monroe Doctrine is over. That was 2013. Hezbollah has also reportedly launched terrorist attacks in Argentina, Brazil, and Paraguay. That's right. He's launched attacks in Argentina, Brazil, and Paraguay. So, are they pushing these countries to follow them? Or what's going on? Are they being tyrannical with these southern countries and forcing them to join the BRICS? Or what is it? I'm not one to say. I'm just speculating. I'm just here, one asking questions merely. Perhaps the most worrisome developments, however, are taking place literally in America's backyard. During a recent House Homeland Security Subcommittee hearing, members received confirmation that Russia, China, and other adversaries seek to exploit the crisis. Y'all heard that right. Seek to exploit the crisis at America's southern border. I've been speaking about this for a while, that our southern border is not good with the influx that's being poured in because, like this article stated, they could use regular civilians and turn them into military. Witness testimonies revealed increasing numbers of encounters between Mexican transitional criminal organization and illegal migrants linked to the Chinese Communist Party. Are we paying attention, people? It's not getting any safer. We're over here worried about them overseas in Ukraine and Russia, that whole war. Well, we got a pot, a stirring, a brewing in our own backyard. Are y'all paying attention? Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro, on the right, walks with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing in 2015. So, along with providing a potential pathway for terrorists, border breaches are ideal for boosting the flow of fentanyl into the U.S., according to the hearings. The Monroe Doctrine, while not entirely dead, has been of life support for decades. Sorry, I had to get that off. Those bugs are everywhere nowadays. So back in 2013, President Barack Obama's then Secretary of State John Kerry, nowadays a key Biden advisor, declared in a speech to the Organization of American States, the era Monroe Doctrine is over. That's not a bad thing. America is fighting a proxy war with Russia and Ukraine, and now we have trouble at the southern border. I feel sorry for these people that are pouring into the country. There's no telling what's going on with these people. There's no telling how they're being treated. There's no telling what's going on with every individual that's walking in through this country. It's dangerous. They have a movie out called Sound of Freedom. I remember I read a report somewhere where they said there was 85,000 kids missing. But what's going on? This is getting insane. Insaner by the day. It says migrants are seen at border control facility at southern Texas. Pray for these people. Pray for America. Pray for everybody. It is getting crazy. It's preparing a war. It says it is preparing for a war with China over Taiwan and is perennially threatened by Iran. This isn't good. Which is on the cusp of possessing nuclear weapons. Sorry, Secretary Kerry. The end of a policy that kept these adversaries far from our doorstep is very much a bad thing. I hope the country is paying attention. I hope the administration is paying attention. I know they don't care. We all know they don't care. But if America falls, it's going to be on them, not us. Them. And we're going to have to pick ourselves back up and put this country back together again like Humpty Dumpty that sat on the wall. Except this isn't Humpty Dumpty. This is America with live people in here. And people pouring in from the border like I've been talking about on YouTube. All over YouTube, I've been spreading that information. Regular civilians entering this border anytime. To me, could be military. And that's what this article states. Iran, Russia, China, in Cuba with Daniel Ortega from the Cold War. There's things a brewing, people. The teapot kettle is whistling if you can hear what I'm saying. Time to drink the coffee and wake up. This is getting crazier and crazier and crazier by the day, people. I thought I'd bring you this news. Please get this information now however you can, by word, by text, by sharing the video. If you're new, please subscribe. I'm new to this, but I will get better and better with the more equipment I buy, because I don't mind doing this type of stuff. I'm not good at reporting. I'm not good at being a broadcaster or journalist. But when news pops up on my phone like this, I don't mind sharing. And whenever I don't mind sharing, I mean I'm about to put out 2 links on videos somewhere, and it's going to get shared, and people are going to watch, and I hope people are waking up and paying attention, because this is not a good scene. Well, ladies and gentlemen, hope you are having a good day out there. Sorry to ruin y'all's day with this news. I know it's horrible news, but if you go and watch my videos, I have all sorts of videos on here. I have funny news. I have some crazy news. I have all types of news. I have shorts that will make you think. I have videos that will try to help us understand what's going on. I'm not good at this, but I see other reporters, other journalists on YouTube broadcasting, and like I said, I'm gonna repeat this the 3rd time, and that's it. I respect them so much for being on the front lines that I myself has jumped on the front lines, not knowing what I'm doing, not knowing what to actually utilize during this situation. I'm only using everything to the best of my advantage and my knowledge. So please forgive me. I respect all of y'all. I will not cross any boundaries. But I hope y'all are listening, those of y'all that are on YouTube, especially the reporters, the journalists. I hope they put this news out. They can reach far more people than I can. I respect that. I don't mind helping them. But I feel like if I text this, YouTube's going to erase it because this is just, look at this article itself. This is just a powerful, powerful article. It's getting scary, people. Wake up, continue praying to God, continue following Jesus. Hopefully you are stocking out there, stocking up on camp foods, stocking up on dry foods, stocking up on water, stocking up on all sorts of stuff that you are going to need for an, any type of unsettling event. Because they've been talking about it for a while, and now I'm starting to see that it is no joke. Well, y'all have a good day, a good night. God bless, and I will be back with more breaking news.